Do you realise that most people's real wages and living standards have not improved since the 1970s? Why? Because if we want more, we have to do more. And despite all the technology and change we've seen since then, the one thing that has not improved is our productivity. In March, our manufacturing output fell by 1.8% from its level at the same time in 2015, the biggest fall for nearly 3 years. Our trade deficit increased from £8.6 billion in the third quarter to £10.4 billion in the fourth quarter. In that same quarter, our labour productivity per hour fell by 1.3%, the biggest drop since the height of the financial crisis in 2008. But hold on a minute, Graham, I hear you say. I'm feeling richer than I was last year and my money seems to be going further. That's simply because the price of commodities like oil has been in freefall, so we've had zero inflation for a year and a half. With oil now rebounding, the impact will fall out of the figures and we'll be back to 1 or 2% inflation in the next couple of quarters. Economists are puzzled by why we can't increase our productivity. Here are the 3 reasons I attribute to this 40-year hiatus. Number 1, capital on strike. Companies are sitting on billions in their balance sheets that they're not investing in new plant and equipment that could transform productivity. This is partly due to resistance from the banks who continue to nurse their own loan books, and partly due to executives who are more focused on financial engineering such as share buybacks to trigger share price movements and juicy bonuses in the C-suite. Shareholders need to become much more active in examining how the board of public companies they invest in are deploying the enterprise's capital. In markets driven by quarter-to-quarter short-termism, you can do lasting damage by failing to invest for the longer term. The second impact on productivity has been the biggest growth industry since New Labour came to power in 1997, regulation. Politicians love to be seen to have taken action on every issue that's laid before them. Yet they only seem to have a couple of tools in their arsenal. You either pass a law against it and find new ways to criminalise company directors, or you set up a quango with hundreds of people on top salaries with gold-plated pensions to do the dirty work for you. And what do they spend 90% of their time doing? Devising watertight ways of covering their own arse so that if anything does go wrong, they can't be blamed. Regulation costs business lots of time and money for little or no added value. I have first-hand experience of one such quango, the Care Quality Commission, and their approach to care homes. They have hundreds of pages of standards and procedures to be met, increasing daily after the scandals a couple of years ago. Yet their approach is tick-box based and ignores what really matters, like staff who genuinely care for the people they look after. My mother-in-law Dottie is fast approaching her 98th birthday in a care home near Rugby. The latest CQC inspection said that home needs to improve in every area. Yet Dottie loves the place and is loved by the staff who sing and dance with her to lighten her days. Yet there's no section in the procedures manual about singing and dancing. Some ambitious, sour-faced ex-nurse has probably decided to throw the book at them in an attempt to make herself look good. Whatever tick boxes they fail to comply with, I place love for your patients above them all. The final scourge of productivity is personal. I blame social media for the biggest time vampire of all, distraction. Not only do we receive hundreds of emails a day, we now have the delights of Facebook, Flickr, Twitter and all the rest to compete for our most valuable commodity, our attention. I suspect the average office worker spends 30 to 50% of their day on unproductive personal entertainment that is easily hidden because it happens on the same screen as the work they're supposed to be doing. People ask me how I'm so productive with writing the Wealth Watch magazine each month, producing these videos each week, my opinion pieces on a Tuesday, and all the special reports I write, as well as running Elite Investor Club. The answer is that I go to great lengths to protect my environment from interruptions. My staff are trained not to knock on my door in the mornings, and I'm grateful to Nigel Bottrell of Entrepreneur Circle for this sign that I hang on my door. Do not disturb unless the building is on fire. Want to have a higher standard of living? It's time to track and improve your personal productivity. If you think you can keep doing things the same old way and get different results, be very careful out there. As we weigh the consequences of staying in Europe or regaining our independence, it's worth reflecting on where growth within the EU is going to come from.